discretion of Walter at that time.
Mm.
I was very sympathetic to this victim, and that's what I did. Subsequent to that, there is a change in the way people look at acquitted conduct. The Sentencing Commission now has said, don't consider that anymore. But at that time, it was appropriate for me to consider that when it came to sentencing. There were no limitations to what I could consider. I would not have done that today. So I also wrote about the fact that those two discretionary sentences on reflection today, given the sea change in the laws, I would not have done that. So I would have imposed the three mandatory sentences, but not the two discretionary. It didn't really make a big difference. He was going to go to die in jail one way or the other.
But it's a symbolism, right?
It's the symbolism, right? And I just dignified this woman's testimony. I was the trial judge. It struck me as compelling, and my heart went out to her. And she's the one now who wrote and said, enough is enough, let him out of jail.
Mm. You know, what's very interesting to me about the First Step Act is that it reopens the door to the thing that federal mandatory minimums were supposed to close, right? And that is individual judicial discretion. And if memory serves, back in the 1990s, again, it was a time of like fear of extremely violent criminals. There was the talk from people like Hillary Clinton about super predators, things like that.
Trying a
idea
spaghetti
was that
sandwich.
there's too much variation
Oh yeah,
across the
ate
federal
one last night. It was
when
good.
it came to
I know that's why I'm
provide
trying.
to handing down sentences for very serious crimes, right? And as you said, when you looked at Walter Johnson in the 1990s, you did not see a savory human being.
Nice on
at that
home.
time. But in other cases, judges were criticized for
Gotta say,
being
very nice.
unnecessarily lenient against convicted defendants. And so I wonder what you think about that. Like, has the pendulum swung back towards judicial discretion in a positive way this time?
I think so. And first of all, it's important to know that we're not opening the jailhouse doors and letting criminals out. The public has to worry about, being endangered because of that. These are people who've been in jail a long time. They have they have engaged in meaningful rehabilitation. The chances of the public being concerned about recidivism is zero. The statistics show that there is no danger of recidivism. These are people who should no longer be in jail because we have this mass incarceration problem, and they've been in jail a long time, and they are subject to great scrutiny by the judges before we render our decisions granting compassionate release. I've checked the recidivist rate, and as far as those who've been let out of jail, I don't know one in the country that has had to be reincarcerated. So it's important for the public to know that naturally there's a fear factor about people who are prisoners and people who have been in jail and that they're coming back into the public, but they need not worry about that.
Yeah.
What they should worry about is the fact that we keep people in jail spending an enormous amount of money who no longer should be in jail. And that really is this incredible discretion that judges have now been given under this incredible statute.
Well, so can you tell me about a case where you applied your discretion and you found that you did not want to grant compassionate release? I think there's the Justin Volpe case.
Yeah, so, obviously I wrote this book. And what motivated me to write the book is because I had these interesting applications that were made to me, and that I had to give myself a second chance to revisit what I had done in the past when those I sentenced, some of them, my predecessors sentenced, but they're no longer alive. They made the application and I got the case. The Justin Volpe was one of those cases, and I took six cases that I put in the book, which I thought would make for great
I
stories.
thought you said you should
And I
be
thought
high.
they
I'm
would
like,
be
why?
an effective vehicle for me
Why
to
should I be
explain the
high?
law, to talk about this newfound discretion, and to give the public,
Oh, that
in
for
lay
sure
language,
feels
this is
good.
not technical stuff, a good feeling and a good sense of what our justice system is all about today.
Yeah, it's like
compared to what
spring.
the past was. So Volpe is the first case. And let me know if I'm just talking.
Oh my
on
God,
and on,
I'm
if you wanna
almost going to be
interrupt me.
50
You
plus.
can give me the
Babs.
Cliff's notes for the Volpe
Yeah,
case.
well, judges keep talking all the
I'm
time.
going to be fat now.
And I think that you
Big
have the right to
fucking banana.
interrupt me. I won't put you in jail, guaranteed.
I promise not to object too many times.
It sounds like you can make a good judge. I've never ever considered
Did you
that.
have Andy's?
Maybe
People used to
Sex.
tell me back in the day I should have gone to school, but Go ahead. Go ahead.
I think a little bit of humor is
On
important.
sale?
I try to use it. I use it
It's been used.
also because I think that's
Already
Slightly
broken.
used.
an effective tool for driving home serious points. Shakespeare did that all
Banana,
the time.
banana.
Back to Volpe. So it was the first one I received. Volpe was sentenced way back when by my predecessor, Judge Nicholson, who passed away not too long ago. So the case happened to be randomly assigned, and I got that. And people under 30 or under 40 probably don't remember Abner Louima. I find that people, certainly maybe our age, certainly know about the Abner Louima case. It was the poster child of police brutality back in those days. I think it was 1998, where Justin Volpe, a highly regarded police officer at the 70th precinct in Brooklyn, I think it was the 70th, was charged with ramming a broken broomstick up the rectum of an innocent patient named Abner Louima. That really, I think, was the case that triggered the Black Lives Movement. It was the George
What is this guy
Floyd
talking
case
about?
of its
Do you know?
era. It was the first time that a
He's a
police
judge.
officer had been
We're
charged
talking
with
about
police
releasing
brutality, with
people.
assaulting this innocent person, and sentenced to jail for 30 years. So that was big headlines in those days. And I think a lot of people still remember that
They
case.
did their
So I
time or whatever,
chose
and
that
then
as the first
the
case.
victims came
And
and
what
said,
I've
you
done
know,
in the book is that I talk about these
let 'em
cases, and then I challenge the
stuff like
reader.
that.
I want the reader to be engaged and involved. I said, what would you have done?
Is
What
that
would
true
Judge
that they
Watt
let
do?
out
Turn to the third chapter and we'll
like
find
now
out.
that they're
So
more
the reader can tell me,
lenient on
should
marijuana, that they
Volpe
let
be
out
left out of
like
jail?
people
Should
who
he
are
not
doing
be left out of jail?
years
So he
for
had been in jail
possessions?
for
I
21
think
years.
so.
He had several years to go.
I don't know if
And
it's
he
across
was
the board. I
first
don't really
case
know the
I
specifics,
had
but I
where
know what you're
somebody
talking about.
was
I've heard about
SBB. They give
I hope
that
that's the
is
case.
release him and
right.
let him out of jail under the new statute. Wow,
Or
I
one
think
case,
that's
which
number
was
one in my book. That's the best first chapter
pretty
I can
outlandish.
possibly
Like
think
the
of.
guy who got
So when
busted
you
with,
read it, which I think you have, and
I
when
don't
the
know how
public
much weed
reads it,
it
they're
was,
going to be
but
gripped
they gave
by
him
the
fucking
story of Abner
long ass
Louima and
time.
Justin Volpe. And then they're going to have to
And then
say,
everyone thought it was like
I have let
unfair,
Volpe out of
you know.
jail after 20 and
And
30
they have
years,
like,
or would I keep him in jail?
I don't know whatever
Now,
became of it.
I would like to keep it a little bit of a mystery because people are out there maybe interested in possibly reading the book and
But
getting
he got like,
involved
you know,
in
it's
this
like
dynamic.
17 years
I don't
just
know
for
whether I
dealing
should
with
spill
some
the beans
fucking
now or whether I should keep
pot.
it hanging over people's head.
I
Give me
couldn't
your
imagine.
recommendation.
Spill the
I think I should
beans,
do.
Judge Block.
You want me to do that
Oh,
now?
yeah.
So I'm taking
Sitting
away
there
the
next to
drama from
killers,
it a little bit,
rapists,
right?
and
I'll
fucking
do it in this one case, but the others, let people say, what would you have done if you were Judge Block? Would you let him
for
out of
selling
jail? Would
dime
you not let him out
bags
of jail? So the 6
or
chapters they
whatever,
go
you
every
know.
which way. Volpe, I didn't let him out of jail. No, I have a feeling that most of the people who might be reading the book will say, I would have let him out of jail. And I don't agree with Judge Block. Why did he let this guy out of jail? Police officer served 21 years. He was a model prisoner. He was no problem in jail. Enough is enough. He had another 4 years to go. Let him out. So we explain all of that in the book, why I did not let him out.
I'm Meghna Chakrabarty. This is on point. Okay, well, contrast between the Volpe case and Walter Johnson is really sort of at the heart of the debate across the judiciary over the First Step Act, right? Because there's definitely not agreement that the First Step Act is a good idea. There are judges elsewhere in the country who think, well,